Hi everyone, it's Celeste from the Arachne Project. I wanted to come on here today and do another tarot reading. I've not done a pick-a-pile reading in quite a while, so I decided that I would do one today. So for those of you who don't know, this is 3 complete but short readings in one, and it's sort of like you can sort of play it as a game or as your intuition. Or you can just listen to all 3 of the readings and choose the one that feels more aligned with how you're feeling, what you're going through. You look for the one that makes you feel more empowered. Okay, so the 3 piles are the rose quartz. We've got a purple fluorite here, and we've got rhodonite here. So I want you to take just a minute if you're playing along. Either just pick a heart, or if you want to use your intuition, I want you to tune into your guides for just a minute and listen. Allow them to light one up for you. Usually when I close my eyes and allow my intuition to pick, it's not at all the one that I would have picked if I were just picking kind of randomly or picking my favorite. Usually what my guides will do is they'll put a little halo around the one that I should pick. And it's never led me wrong. But as I said, you can just pick whichever one you like. So take just a minute, close your eyes, picture the cards on the table, and ask your guides which one is for you. Which one has some guidance for you? Okay, we're going to start with the rose quartz. If rose quartz was your reading, then we're going to do that one first. So I've got by the book, we have the 5 of materials, the Ace of voices, 8 of inspiration, the ever unfolding rose, and dare. So what does this mean? All right. So what Spirit is telling me is that you've been doing everything by the book. You have been working. This is about writing, by the way. All of these situations are about writing. When I pulled the cards, there was an intention that these would be about writing. So you've been doing everything in your writing by the book. You've been following all of the guidance that you've been getting from wherever you've been seeking advice. You've been doing everything that you thought that you should do, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, making sure that A, B, C, and D are checked. And you feel like you have done everything right with this book or this story that you've been working on. What I'm also seeing, and this is what's more concerning, by the book is not necessarily bad on its own, but what I'm seeing is that you're coming into this situation from a place of lack. The 5 of materials is an energy of scarcity mentality. It's an energy of not having, of not being enough, of not having enough. And you have brought that energy into the creation of this story or book or whatever it is that you're writing, if you're writing something else. What I am seeing is that you have really, I think that you've tried really hard to bring your voice into this situation. You've done your best to tell the truth, to tell this story. I have a feeling that this could be like, I have a feeling that this story, whatever it is sort of rooted. It's personal for you, I guess is what I want to say. It's personal. And I think that you have worked really hard to tell the truth about whatever the story is about. You've really tried to raise your voice and say the right things. I think that's been a real concern for you while you've been doing it. I think that that's part of this following the rules by the book card. But for whatever reason, and we're going to get into that because what I'm seeing is an answer to that. Whatever reason, it's like your arrows are just not hitting their target. Perhaps the book is not getting the attention that you hoped it would get. Maybe like you've been submitting it or maybe you've been having other people read it. If it's not quite at submission stages, maybe you have some beta readers who have been reading it. For whatever reason, it's not hitting the target. It's not inspiring people the way that you wanted it to. And I think that that's disappointing for you. I think that you're feeling, I think what's happening is like that's creating, I think that's creating a cycle of feelings that's relating back to this lack. I think it's reminding you again and again and again that you don't have, that you're not there, that you haven't done it yet. And it's making you feel like you're never going to make it. It's creating, what I'm hearing is it never works out for me, is what I'm hearing. In my, I did everything right. I did it by the book. It never works out for me, is what I'm hearing. So what Spirit has for guidance for you is a message of empowerment. This is a message about you needing to release this 5 materials, because this ultimately is why it's not hitting the mark. It's not because, it's almost like you've been too logical about the project. You've been listening to all of the things that people have been saying. You've showed up for all your lessons, and you've been trying so hard to use your voice in a way that you feel that someone else feels is empowered, or the way that you think you should feel empowered, that you're missing something. What you're missing, because you're coming from a scarcity mentality, is that it's what it is your heart is closed. That's what this card means, is that your heart is closed and that you need to open your heart. So there's something about this project that you need to put your heart into. And what you need to do is trust that this 5 of materials is a thing of the past. You need to let it go. Let go of that scarcity mentality. Let go of that attitude that you're never going to make it, that you've never made it so far. And there's something else in this card about everything. It says it's happening for you, not to you. I don't know if you can see that. It's happening for you, not to you. And so what that tells me is that there has been a sense, perhaps in your writing life, and I'm going to guess that it's been over other parts of your life as well, that life is sort of happening to you, and that you need to shift your energy up in the way that you're viewing life in general, and your writing life especially, because this is about your writing life. And you need to shift your perspective that you're writing a story, and the story is coming through you. But the idea is that this is a forceful energy. This energy is forcing it. It's trying too hard, and it's blocking the heart. That trying too hard energy is blocking the heart. There's something in your heart that needs to come through, that needs to be expressed. And when you can express that truth and leave this out of it, that's when your arrows are going to hit the mark, the target. Your other guidance card is Dare. Spirit is telling you that you need to be a little braver with whatever it is you're writing. You need to put your heart into it more. You've already thought it through. You already know what you need to know about the pieces of a story and putting it together. And I think you're scared of expressing yourself because you're just afraid it's going to be rejected. And what you need to do is be a little braver, put a little more of your heart into this story or the next, and keep going, okay? Because that's when your arrows are going to hit the target. So be brave. And I'm going to move on to the next reading. It's completely possible that more than one of these readings will resonate for you. And if that's true, then you can claim them all. Reading number 2 was the purple fluorite. All right, we've got mending. We've got the Queen of Voices, Page of Materials, and the Empress. Everything is inverted. Protection for your guidance and flowers. Okay. There's a strong, so whoever's writing, okay, whoever's writing situation this is, it's a little, there's a similarity to the first reading, but it's got a slight taste of its own. So listen for the uniqueness of this. This is about mending, and mending is in protection mode. So I think that you've been writing to heal yourself. I think that you've been really looking at whatever it is that you're writing as a healing project. You're really trying to heal either yourself, probably yourself, or something, or like, sometimes we heal others in order to heal ourselves. So there's a strong energy of you trying to fix something with this story, which is not at all unusual for storytellers. I think a lot of storytellers really want to heal the world, and so they're pointing out some way in which the world needs to be healed. But there's a lot of crossed energy here, and that's where we come up all the way to the guidance of protection, okay? So you have felt silenced. Queen of Voices, that's the Queen of Swords, and she's in her disempowered energy. So the Queen of Swords, typically she's a truth teller, and a she can have a real cut to her. She doesn't mince words. She does a real cut to her voice. But in this case, the Queen of Voices is not in her power. So there's something here. I think you're being silenced. I think you're probably silencing yourself. I don't think that this is coming from someone else anymore. It maybe did in the past, okay? There may be some past energy of people asking you to mind your voice, not speak so loud. A lot of times we struggle with speaking up when we've had to kind of pipe down in the past. And so when your voice finally does come out, it comes out, another way the Queen of Swords and her crossed energy can come out is like being very cutting, just being mean, almost mean speech. There can also be like that energy of like telling the truth that hurts, but not in a helpful way. This would not be in a helpful way. This would be like, the truth hurts, doesn't it? Kind of an attitude. And on the heels of that, that's in the past, recent past. And on the heels of that, we have the Page of Materials reversed. So that's the Page of Pentacles. And so I really see that you're struggling. This is an energy of lack, okay? Like the last reading, this is an energy of lack. This is an energy of not being able to get the resources flowing. And what I feel about this reading, so the Empress is about fertility. She's about, see, she's got the whole world inside of her coat here. And in the reverse energy, that energy's crossed. It's about not being able to create, not being able to make. So I feel like whatever you're working on, because of what's coming up here in the guidance situation, I feel like it's not time for this project. I feel like this project is I think you need to do some more healing before you can bring this project into the world. I feel like it's not ready yet. Like you need to do some more healing. You need to be working more on yourself. That doesn't mean that the project is no good. It just means that the timing is wrong for you to be, I'm not sure if you're still writing this or if you finished it and it's whatever it is, it's not working out. It's not coming out the way that you want it to come out. And this protection mode, this is about you needing to do your work. This is about you needing to call your power back to you. You need to spend some time taking really good care of yourself while you work through these feelings of lack, this feeling of not being able to find your voice, and when you do find it, things not coming out in a helpful way. You need to be able to find how to use your voice in an empowered way. And that's going to take some work. I don't want you to think that this story or this thing you're working on is done. I have a sense, because of the flowers, okay, the Empress is very kind of related to flowers and growth. And because we have the Empress reversed here and then flowers here, what I'm seeing is that your feminine energy is saying that you need to take care of yourself. You need to focus on self-care before you can work on this project. You have this idea for this healing project that you want to be working on. And that the key to writing this or completing this or getting it out into the world in a way that helps others is through doing your own self-healing first. So I want you to be really, really good to yourself. Call your power back to you. That's what the card says. Call your power back. Cut the cords to whatever it is. It says soul retrieval. It says to return to your soul. Okay, so that means going inward and nurturing our inner self, our inner wise self, listening to our voice of wisdom. It's your voice of wisdom is saying not yet, not now. But that doesn't mean not ever, okay? Oopsie. So our last heart was the rhodonite. And we have Treasure Island, 9 of Voices, 10 of Inspiration, and 4 of Voices. Okay. I'm going to leave this in the reverse for a moment, but I'm not sure that this card is going to stay that way. I'm going to listen to my guides when I get there. So Treasure Island. Treasure Island is a card that is beckoning you toward your buried treasure. This is about you. Again, it has a similar vibe to the last two readings. You've been working through something with your writing. And I feel that you are mining within you sort of what you might call like sorry, you know me, I can't think of the words sometimes. You've been sort of mining this rich, your inner riches. You found a spot within you where there's lots of fertile stories coming from, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And you have released a lot of anxiety, and the 10 of Inspiration speaks of overwhelm. It speaks of a burden that is so heavy that it's about to break. Like you need to put it down. And it speaks of being at that point where you're almost done with it. You're just ready to put it down. And I have this feeling that you have been, I'm seeing you furiously writing is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing you furiously writing through some major discomfort and major pain. And this has not been restful for you. Like I think you're in a place of needing rest, of being very tired, not just of writing, but of like this gets tiring. This energy of digging through your past and finding finding that treasure in the darkness. That can be super duper tiring. And I'm seeing you in a place where you're like almost to the finish line and you're not quite done. And you're like, I don't know if I can get through this. Like you're almost there, but it's like exhausting. What I'm hearing about this Council of Light card, it says divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. And what's pictured is it's basically like your ascended masters in the photo, guides and ascended masters. So what they're saying is that you have these stores of energy, you have this inner guidance system, whether you want to think of them as like, a lot of us think of our guides as separate beings. I don't really think of them that way. I think that they're aspects of myself, but that's how I prefer to think of them. Some people might think of these things as something outside of themselves. Whatever that is to you, okay? Spirit is telling me that not to get lost in the form. What it is a need to call on your own spiritual guidance system. So if that's God, then call on God to give you the strength to get through this to the end, okay? If you are more like me and you have spirits that you work with or spirit guides, then they're saying call on them and ask them to help you through, okay? Ask them to just kind of pull you through this last bit of the kind of, you know, it's the trotting toward the finish line. And what they're saying is that at the end, you're going to have this big reward, okay? There's a big reward waiting for you when this is all done with. And before you go into like, we're gonna have to go into editing mode after we finish writing, and that's another whole race is what they're saying. They're saying make sure that you take a moment to treat yourself in between. Allow yourself to finish out the first draft and be grateful. Thank your guidance system. Treat yourself really, really nice for having done all of this hard work. Give yourself a quick break before you dive right back into rewrites and all of the hard work of that, because you're going to need that energy that you're going to get back through treating yourself really well. It's a reminder that when you've sort of poured your cup into a piece of art or into a story, that you need to refill the cup. Okay, so doing whatever it takes to make yourself feel rewarded is going to be really, really important. It's going to help you finish this. Another message that I'm getting for this is that when you're all done with this, that there is a tangible reward for you coming. So if that helps pull you through, then remind yourself that, you know, when you're all done, it's all going to be worth it. Okay. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope one of these readings was helpful for you. This is a reminder that if you like the way that I read tarot, you might also like the way that I coach. It's very similar, and I am taking new coaching clients right now. I'm offering special prices for COVID. I don't know exactly when I'm going to go back to my regular pricing, but those prices are still active, and you can find all that information on my About page. So I'll see you guys in the next reading. Bye.